All right, please. Good morning, everyone. And I believe we are all doing well. Gradually, we've come to the end of Ghana Tech Lab's lockdown online training, accounting for startups. And I believe that at this point, we've learned something that's going to help us improve with how we deal with accounting with regards to our startups. Okay. But then, as I posted on the page, I want you to comment on your social media handles. Okay, so like I stated, you can post your work, post your assignment, or probably share a video of the work you've done. And then the hashtags are used Ghana Tech Lab, hashtag LOT, hashtag Ghana Tech Lab Impact, hashtag World Bank, hashtag MOC, that's Ministry of Communications, hashtag Young Africa Works. So you can even tag Ghana Tech Lab and then MasterCard Foundation. So you can go back to the page and look at all these hashtags. We just want to create an awareness on social media with regards to what we have done. So we would be very grateful if you could share a video talking about the program, how the program has helped you, and then also you can even share your assignments, even the assignments you did, you can share any of them. All right. So we want feedback. So kindly help us create the awareness on social media. Thank you very much. Anyway, so today being the last day, we are actually going to wrap up everything we've learned. So about today's lecture or about today's topic, it is basically concerned with the challenges or the accounting challenges that SMEs or startups face. And this topic cuts across everything we've done. So at the end of the day, we are just going to remind ourselves what we've done or what we've learned so that we don't forget them. Okay. We all know starting up a business is not really simple, especially in our part of the world. So, and then most startups will also face some challenges when it comes to accounting. We are trying to um, just use the challenges, or just looking at the challenges concerning accounting. So we just want to look at some of the accounting challenges that these startups face. And then after identifying the challenges, we now look at how we can solve them. So when we pick up a challenge, we look at the challenges that are being faced. Then we bring out ways or we devise measures that we can use so that we can be able to solve these problems. Uh-huh. So yes, that's for today, basically. All right. So also we know that the focus of all startup owners, okay, or business owners like ourselves, even if you don't have a business yet, and I mean after this lecture, probably you're even thinking of starting up your own business, but then you haven't really put everything into full motion. Okay, but then maybe one day you're going to have your own startup. So it's important that we get to know these challenges. And I know that some of us might even identify some of these challenges in which we are facing. So out of these challenges, we can find ourselves in some of these challenges. All right. So we just want to identify them and see how we can work around it so that even if we face these challenges, we can be able to minimize the effect that it has on our businesses. Most of the time, startup owners or business owners focus on the marketing, they focus on sales, they focus on their operations, okay, and then they tend to lose sight of the accounts and finance aspects of their work. So at the end of the day, they are engulfed with many accounting challenges because their attention is mostly on other things, operations. So how can I increase my market share? How can I increase my customer base? How can I make sure that sales are coming up well? With regards to operations and all that. So we usually don't pay particular attention, especially when it's a very small business where you get money, you spend the money and then all that. So you don't really have time to look at the accounts part. But then we always need to remember that definitely we are going to expand our business. Our businesses are going to be expanded. So it's important that we are able to learn these things so that as our business expand, we already have these things in mind. Okay, so even if your business is so small that you feel that doing an accounts work will be some way, it doesn't matter. Just learn these things so that when the business is growing, you can be able to adopt or use what you have learned. All right, so I'm going to share my screen like I always do, and then we look at some of the challenges so that we can. Ooh, more feature why? So that we look at the challenges that startups always go through, especially in Ghana here. All right, so there's it for today. So let's go through. All right, so the first challenge that you're going to look at is what? Doing everything. Doing everything. Most of these startups do everything, okay, or marketing to sales to customer service, everything, accounting, everything. Okay, so they are not able to really get time for accounting. And then without accurate bookkeeping, you wouldn't know how your business is truly performing. Okay, so and when the more we do a lot of things on our own, the more it becomes very, very, very difficult for us to focus on one particular thing. So imagine you're always focusing on sales, you're always focusing on finance. It'll be difficult, okay, for you to really take time and sit down and go through your books. So it's either, let's say, you outsource it to someone. So at this point in, it depends on the size of your business. But I'll always entreat you that if your business is quite small and it's manageable, you can just do these things on your own. Get an Excel sheet, get an accounting software, enter your revenue, enter your expenses. At the end of the day, the very good softwares will prepare a general ledger for you, will prepare a journal for you. So yours is to just bring out the report and then maybe you look for an experienced person or a professional to just review the reports for you and then make sure that you are on the right track, basically. So that's what you can actually do. So you can just get a software or get an Excel sheet where you enter these transactions into, or a software where you enter your revenues, your expenses, and then a day you can generate your report and then you look for a professional or an experienced person to just review it for you. Then you know that you are on the right path. But if we tend to focus on other things and then we leave accounting out, it becomes difficult. It gets to a point where we need to generate reports. We need to showcase how our business is faring. We can't really get good data because we don't have records. So it's a big challenge that most business owners face. They doing everything. They being responsible for every single thing. I understand it's not easy, but then we should try as much as possible to put some time aside and then sit down and do our work. You can decide maybe out of the 7 days, you can use weekends for that. So that and go through the whole week, the social media expenses, at least and have records of these things. Okay, try and then explore around the software as I led you to do on Wednesday. Try and explore them and see the one that best fits your organization or your business. Then you can also adopt that kind of software and use it to help you. It will really reduce the kind of pressure you have on your accounting work because the software is actually handling everything for you. Or better still, you can go in for, you can outsource that aspect. That's if your business is big enough to probably pay for someone to help you with it. All right, so that's the first challenge, doing everything. Don't have time to keep your books up to date and all that. So it's important. So how can we fix this problem? And that's what I've already explained. Trying to set time apart and then doing our own bookkeeping, either using Excel sheets or using accounting software. We should try, or we outsource it. So this is how we can overcome this challenge. All right, so we want to look at the next we want to look at the next challenge. The next challenge is what? Adding personal and business expenses or funds together. I know we've already met this point before. Okay. This is basically one of the pitfalls of SMEs, or let's say startups or small businesses. Okay, many business owners think that because they have shares in the company, they can use the business funds for their personal use. In this case, let me not even go to shares. Let's just assume a sole proprietor. Because the business is yours and you handle the business on your own, you feel you can just decide to use the money. No, you need to separate the business funds from your personal funds, as I've already stated before earlier in our previous lecture. It's very, very important. Keep your money separately. Whatever you earn from the business, what you can actually do is that you can decide to have, let's say, okay, at the end of the month, this is how I'm going to pay myself from my business. So at the end of the month, you make sales of, let's say, 100 cedis. This is just a rough figure. Let's say we make sales of 100 cedis. What you can do is that after taking all your expenses out, right, that you are left with 70 cedis. So it means that you used 30 cedis for expenses. This is just a basic example. I know we all earn above the 100 cedis. Now, as taking our expense of 30 cedis from it, we are left with 70 cedis. What we can do is that out of the 70 cedis, we can decide, okay, I'm going to pay myself 50 cedis and I will save the remaining 20 cedis. So that is it. At the end of the day, you have use of the money. So you know that at the end of the month, I always take 50 cedis from the money I get from my business. So you can decide to give or provide salaries for yourself so that you don't end up misusing the personal funds from you don't end up using personal funds and then business funds together. So it's important that you decide to pay yourself from your business. Okay, so you are paying yourself. So at the end of the month, after you've gone through your sales, what you can do is that after going through your sales, you know how much you earn. You've been having this business for quite some time now. You know that at the end of the week, at the end of the month, this is what I am getting. You can even decide to pay yourself on a weekly basis, but it depends on how sales move. So you can say, okay, you can make it on a monthly basis. On a weekly basis, you get 200 cedis. So on a monthly basis, you're going to get, let's say, 800 cedis. When you break all your expenses together, you are getting, let's say, an expenses of you are spending 200 cedis on expenses. The remaining money left is 500 cedis. You can decide that, okay, I'm going to pay myself 300 cedis. The remaining 200 cedis, I'm going to invest it. Then you are good to go. So at the end of the day, every month, you don't end up going to your coffers to take money because you, you also pay yourself from the business fund and business funds together. They are two different things. Okay, even if it's a sole proprietorship and you own your business, it doesn't give you the right to spend the business money. No, it's not for you. You should be able to spend only your personal money. Even if you take money from the business, you should be able to pay back the business that amount of money, because the end result of this is that you are going to spend the business money and then you might not be able to really see whether you're making a profit or a loss, and you can't be able to tell how you are faring when it comes to your business because you spent the money. You've been spending it together, so you can't really sit down and then analyze the transactions that is solely meant for the business. You can take some, I have a friend I've been helping, you can take his bank statement, right? That all the money he's using, you can tell that he's using the money for personal things, because when you take the bank statement and then you're having a reconciliation, it looks like it's being used for personal things. So and this person is working with an investor. So let's assume the investor decided, okay, can you give me a report? This person will struggle because he has used majority of the money on personal things. So we should try to avoid these things because we don't know when an investor will show interest and will be asked to present our transactions or asked to present a report. So not necessarily transactions, asked to present a report, and we found wanting because we don't have accurate records for the transactions. We've mixed up both personal transactions with the business transactions. So how can we overcome this challenge? We can overcome this challenge by simply separating our personal transactions from our business transactions. And remember, when we're doing this owner structures, I mentioned that you can create a different account for yourself. So you can have your own personal bank account and you can have an account for your business. So it's important that you probably try and register, even if it's a sole proprietorship, try and register it so that when you are creating an account, it will be easy. Even if it's quite difficult for the start, you can create the business account in your name, but then you are treating it like a business entity because your account and then the business account are two different accounts. If you mix them, it will be a challenge. All right. So that's the second challenge. Now, the third challenge, okay, with most startups, it boils down to the same that I've said. We've already mentioned these things countless times. Improper records or wrong categorization of accounts. This is another area where startups miss. Okay, startups or small businesses either keep no records or keep improper records. In business, everything is important. So keep all business records, whether big or small. I'll always use my friend as an example. So I told him I wanted to help him with his work. So I told him, okay, so he will give me details of all transactions. And guess what? He couldn't get me details because he didn't have records for them. So he just told me that, okay, I have to be honest with you. For the past, whatever, he registered a business 2018. So since 2018 till this year, January 2020, can you imagine that he has no records of the transactions he's done? Because I doesn't keep record of them. He all knows, okay, I've spent this money on this. We've bought this for the office. We've done this. But to really sit down and then have an account, he doesn't have. So most of someone will be wondering, how is it possible that I don't have account? I don't record it. It is very possible. People don't have records of their business at all. And I have a friend, that's why I say that I have examples of people who don't. So it's not like it's strange. It's really real. Okay, so the earlier you start doing, the better. And then the reason why he had to now seek help was that his investor was now looking for reports. He needed reports. The man is always pumping money, thousands of dollars into his account to support. He has a very good or brilliant startup idea. And you know, an investor will want to see results. The investor wants to also sometimes receive dividends or some kind of return. Okay, sometimes they understand that probably the first 2 years they might not get anything because it's a risk they are taking to invest in a business. It's a risky thing because it's either you do well or you don't do well. So as the person is taking this risk, after 2 years, the person is expecting that, okay, I mean, at this point in time, we've been able to gain grounds. We now know what to do. So at least we can be able to make some returns from the monies that has been invested. Lo and behold, the guy didn't keep records of any single thing. So it's an issue. So when we say that improper records or wrong categorization of accounts, it's not a joke. It's very serious because most people don't keep accounts of, you might be doing it, but what should I doing it well? So it's important that you try and go over, okay, and see if you're on the right track. You can let someone, a professional, assist you. Okay, someone you think has knowledge in bookkeeping. So as that, if you really don't have any idea, to assist you with your work so that you are all your books are always accurate. Okay, so that even if you are reconciling your cash book with your bank statement, it can give you accurate results. So it's important whether your company or your business is small or big. It's really, really important. Just keep records. Just keep records. These are the kind of expenses you incur. This is these are the source of funds or revenue. Let's say you do a lot of things, okay, or your business has multiple areas in which they can bring in revenue. Let's say you do consultancy, you do trainings. There's so many things you do. All right. So your business is a business, but then it has different sources of funds for you because of the many areas in which your business is involved in. Keep record of all these things. Anytime you pay your people, anytime you spend, try and record them. So for the start, as we already, you can use an Excel sheet to help you with your journal entries and then to help you with your general ledger. And then also you can have software to access to. So please, it's important. Keep trying and then keep trying to explore the software and then decide on the one that best fits your organization and see how you can be able to have accurate records. All right, so that's the thing. So how can we overcome this challenge? As I've said, we need to try to keep appropriate books of entry. Okay, we need to try to record every single thing. Even if you spend 10 pesos, record what you use the 10 pesos for. You might think, oh, it's small. Oh, I'm just taking actually some the company. Oh, I'm just taking but after taking 5 CDs, 10 CDs, 20 CDs, doing things, doing other personal things, or doing things that you think, oh, I don't need to record or account for these things, it will go a long way to help, because in the short term, you might think, oh, you are not seeing the effects, but in the long term, it can affect your business. Because as I always say, we all have visions of expanding our businesses. We don't want to remain as where we are now, okay, and we will definitely get there. But it's important that we start, or we have that habit, okay, of keeping proper records, so that when our business are big, we don't encounter those challenges. All right. So the fourth challenge that most startups encounter is what? Not budgeting. Not budgeting. We've already dealt with budgeting as a whole topic, not budgeting. And it's true. Most companies or startups, no, let me not use companies, most startups or business owners do not budget. Sometimes I understand them because of how or the nature of their business. They feel, oh, it's too small. Oh, I can manage for a long time. But as I always say, it's important that you create a budget and you stick to a budget. It's a form of discipline. It helps you to spend well. And then also it helps you to spend on things that aren't really important. Okay. We all know that budgeting is one of the essential tasks every business must take. Okay. It is quite amazing how many business managers or startup owners make large financial commitments without any proper budgeting. Uh-huh. So recently I was discussing something, and you know this COVID-19 fund that has been created. So I was discussing with someone, and the person asked me that he's wondering if these things are in the budget of the startups. I know, not, of course, we already know, not startups, of the companies. Of course, no one knew, as at, let's say, December, we were not really expecting COVID-19 to have a serious toll on Africa, not even talk of Ghana. Okay, but the question is that as these companies, both big and let's even leave the big ones, some of these small companies are also donating a lot of money into the fund. I'm not saying it's a wrong thing, but the question is that I hope and I believe that it is part of the funds they budgeted for that period of time. Maybe they put it as miscellaneous, or let's say corporate social responsibility. Uh-huh. So even if you are going to budget for something, sometimes you can budget for an amount of money you are not sure of. So I remember we discussed, we had a budget line named one-time cost. Uh-huh. So sometimes you can budget, and I'm not saying that the budget should be like how the budget is, it should be, you should be able to spend it. No, sometimes you can bring an allowance or an adjustment. So let's say in a budget, there's a portion which is miscellaneous. So any other expense which hasn't been captured in the above listed expenses can be located under the miscellaneous. Uh-huh. So if you have not budgeted for something like that, and you go and donate, and let's say the money that you even get is not even enough. And not only you, because you donated a huge sum of money for something you not even budget. So it's important that we stick to our budget. And we also said one of the limitations of a budget is that sometimes it causes for a change when there are changes in circumstances. So understand these things can happen. Things can happen for you to make changes to your budget, but at least the most important thing with the budget is that it helps you to stick to the expenses that you have listed. So if the things are not in the expense, unless it's very pressing and it's crucial to your organization or to the operations of your organization, then you can decide to go outside it and then cater for those expenses. But it's important that you stick to your budget. If you've created a budget for the next 3 months, stick to the budget and see the end result. It's going to really help you a lot. At least at the end of the day, you are able to analyze whether you overspent the budget or you underspent. So when you overspend or when you underspend, in creating the next budget for the next period of time, you then make allowances. You now know, okay, so it looks like this kind of expense is really high. okay, I really spent a lot in this. At least, okay, I underestimated this kind of expense because at first I wasn't doing this. So all these things, it helps you a lot to make some analysis, to make projections. Okay, and if you make projections for sales, and let's say they are wild projections, it puts you on your toe to work more to achieve those things. So that's a budget. It's a very important tool that unfortunately most startups do not budget. They don't have budget. They don't work with budgets. They work with what they have. So I have money. Let me start a business. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Okay, so I'm doing it. So they work with just the funds they have. They don't have a plan they are sticking to. But you need to have a plan you are sticking to so that you don't end up incurring a lot of expenses. So you can even track the revenues that you are making. So it's important that as startups, as business owners, we try as much as possible to budget. So it's important. All right. So you can budget for a day, you can budget for a week, you can budget bi-weekly, you can budget a month, you can budget on a quarter basis, and you can budget yearly. It's important that you analyze your business, know your business very well, and see how you can budget. The fact that startup A is budgeting for 3 months doesn't mean that you should also go and budget for 3 months. Probably because of the way you do your things, business is not that smooth. So in budgeting for 3 months, it might affect you. So you can start a little by little. You can start, okay, I'm budgeting for a month. I'm budgeting for 2 weeks. I'm budgeting for first 2 months. So you set your own plan, okay, based on what you do. Don't look at what another startup is doing. Especially when you are in different industries, it will affect you because every industry has its own problems. So if you're trying to compare yourself with an industry, a startup that's in a different industry, it's serious. Most times in benchmarking or when you are comparing, you need to compare with startups in the same industry. So don't just look at a startup that you admire in a different industry. Maybe you are in IT, that industry is also in education or the food and beverages. Fine, you admire the way they do their things, but it doesn't mean that you should always also go for the same plan they use because they're in a different industry and then they're tackling things from a different perspective. There are basic things you can learn from them, but it doesn't mean that you should always do the same thing. So in budgeting, it's you and your business, how you see your business, how you run your business. Then you budget according to how you do your things in your business. All right. Then another challenge that startups also face, okay, it's what lack of planning, skill labor, and poor management skills. Doing business planning analysis before business startup is key to a successful venture. Most business owners, okay, extract money without any control. They have no fixed salary for themselves. They overspend way above their profits. So it comes back to what we have been talking about. Have you been planning before you started a startup? Did you have any plans? The thing is that sometimes you might think that, oh, what is planning? I have the money, let me just start a business. But it can affect your money. One thing you need to remember is that finance and accounting is the backbone of every business. How can you start a business without money? Okay. And how can you also improve your business without having proper analysis, or how can you review or evaluate your performance if you don't have records of how you spend your money? So finance and accounting is in the middle. It's a core thing. It's important. Every business, whatever business you do, it's important that you take your finance and accounting seriously. So when it comes to planning, you need to plan, okay, I'm going to do this business. And right now, I'm not working. This is the only thing I'm doing. This is what I'm doing to support myself. What you can do is that you can plan that, okay, at the end of the month, I'll have a salary, right? Uh-huh. So that you don't end up using the money for your business. So that's a sort of planning. But because sometimes we lack planning or we don't have proper management skills, we end up not doing the right thing. I'm not saying that you need to go and then take up a course in management skills or something. No. Sometimes it's just about you. Just analyze what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. This is the business you are running. Okay. So how do you make sure that the business is going to run for a long time? How do you make sure that the operations are going to go on for a long time? How do I make sure that I don't overspend above my profit? If you are earning a profit of 1,000 cedis and your expenses are above 1,000 cedis, I mean, how? It's going to affect you. So the thing that if you don't plan, that's when it affects your money. So it's good that you plan very well so that your finances is stable, your finances is secure, your finances is safe. Okay. So it's important that we try to plan. And how can we plan when it comes to accounting? You can decide to have a fixed salary, or you can say, okay, I'm not going to have a fixed salary. Based on the profit I get for a month, I'm going to take 30% of it as my salary. That's another thing you can do. So you don't have a fixed salary of, let's say, a salary of 500 cedis from my startup, a salary of 300 cedis from my startup. No. What you can do is that you analyze based on the performance in a particular month. You decide that, okay, I'm going to take 30%. If my salary, let's say if my sales is very high, I'm taking 50%. If sales is not so good, I'm taking 30%. Then you can, now there's a plan, right? So when the money comes, you're able to use it as it should be, not based on what you are just getting. So lack of planning is also a challenge that we face. So I hope that by the end of this session, if let's say we have not been planning at all, we'll go back and then sit down and then decide, okay, let's assume I'm starting from the scratch. What do I need to do? How can I plan? How can I plan when it comes to finance? How can I plan when it comes to accounting for these things? How do I make sure that my profits are actually, I'm actually maintaining my profits? So all these things come with what? Planning. Okay, it's important that we plan. It's going to help us a lot. Now let's look at the sixth. We are looking at 7 challenges. We're looking at the sixth challenge. Let's look at the sixth. The sixth challenge has to do with competition. All right, competition. Let's see how this relates to accounting or finance, because we're actually dealing with accounting. So let's see how competition as a challenge can affect us. All right. One of the biggest challenges that all startups will face is competition. That one is true, whether you like it or not. Unless whatever you are doing, it hasn't been done before. Even when you go to the market, you see women selling same items in the same stretch. So for competition, it is there. But let's see how we can overcome this challenge so that we won't have an impact on our finances. All right. One of the challenges that all startups face is competition, particularly in markets dominated by well-known or established brands. You're a startup, you're doing something similar to what other people have been doing, and then these brands are already established, well-known brands. Okay, now how do we now overcome? Because I think that if you're not able to overcome competition, you're not able to position ourselves very well, it will affect us because business will not go on. Sales will be very, very slow. It will be dragging. So it's important that we are able to identify the challenge, competition as a challenge and see how we can overcome them. Because if we don't pay particular attention to competition, we'll end up not having enough sales and it can affect our business. Because for all you know, we put a lot of money into the business, and then for us to start and then not get the needed funds or the needed returns, it can affect us. So the key is to find a niche market. What you can do is that, okay, you are producing these goods and know that you have other companies in the same industry, even producing the same goods. What you can do is that you can look for a particular group of people and then you sell your goods to these people. All right. So let's look for an example. Let's say you sew, okay, you are a seamstress or you are a tailor and you sew. Now, as people are doing a lot of things, all right? Now, how do you now overcome this? Maybe you are a good seamstress, you're a good tailor, you can really sew. Now, how do you um get your target market? How do you get a particular group of people? So you can decide, okay, I'm good with ladies' clothes more than gents. Okay, so let me go into ladies' clothes. And even with ladies' clothes, let's say you are good with, well, let's say corporate attire. That's what you can sew best. So right now you've tailored your market to a particular group of people. So let's say you are sewing for ladies, all right, but not all ladies. Let's say for the corporate bodies, because this is the kind of attire you can sew for them. Yours can also be still sewing, but then you are targeting children clothes. You can sew for children a lot, and then that's what you are good in. Now you target it. Okay, so you are now looking at a particular niche, particular group of people. When that happens, it helps you because at least you've been able to differentiate your product, and it's going to help go a long way to help with your finances. Because right now, sales will move on. But if let's say you sew and you've not been able to come down to a particular niche or identify a particular group of people you can sew to, it can affect you. I'm not saying that because of that, that's always going for no. It can also mean that you sew all right, but then you can still stand the competition and sew for other people. So what you can really start is that you can start with your church members, you can start with a group of people, and then through that you can get advertised, and then that will help you. Okay, so it doesn't mean that always go and look for maybe a particular target group. No, but what you can do is that even though you sew, you can start with a particular group of people. Let's say your church. So most of the church things you sew for them. Most of the people in your church, you are sewing for them. So I mean that is a group of people you have identified, and then from there, that's when probably after they have worn your clothes or they've worn your dress, then people can now ask them, oh, okay, where do you sew this? And then they can now um, also help you with your business. Let's say they can introduce you to other clients. So what I'm saying is that competition really affects us, especially small businesses, because other well-established people are already using this kind of brand or the kind of products that we are selling. But then the thing is, the solution is how do we overcome this? We can still have the same brand as they're having, but then we can have a target group for them. So you can start with the people around you. It can be your church members, it can be your friends, it can be your colleagues, it can be people you know, your schoolmates. So you now introduce your product to these people, and then they can also start referring you. So that's it. That's just it. So try to identify a target group, and then it will help you. Okay, so there will always be another brand offering a similar product. Think outside the box. Ensure you establish a clear target. That's it. So because if you don't establish a clear target, it will affect you because the industry is very big. You're doing the same thing as well-established companies are doing. But then how do you differentiate your product? How do you make your product so unique that people can even decide to um let's say people can even decide to hire you to do something for them. So it goes a long way. It can be something, it can be photography, it can be anything, but then you can identify your target group. That's the most important thing. And one thing is that when you identify your target group, definitely you can even grow beyond your target group. You can start sewing for ladies, but then as time goes on, you can either learn or upgrade and then include gentlemen. So that's it. But then for the start as small businesses, we can start with a particular target group. Okay, let's say you are into food, you prepare food and you sell it and all that. You can say, okay, I'm going to start with schools, I'm going to start with corporate bodies, I'm going to start preparing food for them. So instead of you going to, let's say, have a restaurant or let's say have a place and then name it a food joint or something, you have started a particular line. Let's say you go to companies, you give them your offer. Oh, I can supply your lunch, I can supply your breakfast for you at this fee. Right now, you've been able to target your market group. Okay, then as time goes on, as the business improves, then you can make it bigger. Then even if you want to start up a restaurant, then you can start, because at that point in time, you have gained enough revenue, enough money to be able to explore or even expand your business. So for the start, for the sake of competition, we can try to always have a target group. And as our businesses improve, as we expand our business, then we can bring on more other target groups. I believe we understand till this point. So that's what the competition, how we can reduce competition so that our products can stand out, and then we can be able to sell our products to people. Now, the last thing we're going to discuss today when it comes to challenges that startups face is what? Hiring, hiring, hiring. How sure are you that the people that you are bringing on board are people just have the same mind with you? When we're looking at the owner structures, we saw partnership. Sometimes, and I said that sometimes someone can have the funds and not have the skills. You have the skills and not have the funds or the capital. So you can decide to go into a partnership with a person or even a joint venture, and then you can bring out a particular product or service. Now the thing is that how sure are you that you are hiring or going in for the right people to work with? Remember, if you go in for people that are not willing to work, are not willing to sacrifice, it can affect your business because you are supposed to pay them, but then you're not seeing results. You're not seeing improvement in your sales. Okay, So when it comes to hiring, it's important that we have people or we build a strong team. Okay, to find the right talent while sticking to a budget is a challenge for many companies, in particular for unknown brands. And as I said, let's say you have a budget of this amount of money. Now, hiring someone to even take care of your bookkeeping can be a challenge because, hey, how can I pay this person? How can I do this? How can I do that? But it's important that we try as much as possible to hire people that will help us. So, building a strong team to nurture and develop a young company is key to success. As you are putting your time, money, and trust in your team, it's worth the investment. So, let's not rush when we want to hire people. Let's take our time to see if these people can actually bring something on board. They can actually bring something to the plate. If you're recruiting a salesperson, see if the person can actually go and then market these things for you, can actually bring on board more sales. If you don't build a strong team, it can affect the business. But then if you build a strong team, you are able to improve upon your operations, you're able to improve upon your works or anything that you do. Remember, you've invested money and time into this business. So you need to reap what you've harvested. Sorry, you need to reap what you've sown into the business. Okay, our investment needs to be great. So we can't invest money, we can't pay people when they're actually not doing much for us or they don't have the same mind that we have. Because you might have the zeal, might have the energy to really do something, but then the people that you have on board don't have the zeal. They say that, okay, we've closed, we've done this, I'm done. Whatever you've asked them to do, that's what they are doing. They are not really using their initiatives to even explore, to see how they can even build the brand for you. So we need to be mindful of the kind of people we engage to support our venture. If you are bringing people on board, know that these people are the right team and these people can help. If you feel the person isn't helping, but then the person is a friend, you can politely tell the person to up his or her game or do more so that the business can improve. But if you think of friends, and then you're not able to correct the person, it can affect you. You've put money into the business and you need to invest well. You need to reap what you have invested. So you can't put money in and you allow the money to go down the drain. As you've hired them, it's not for free, you are paying them. So you should be able to look for a team that is strong so that it can help improve your business. And as I said, building a strong team is a key to success. And for you to be successful, it means that everything is going on well, your sales are improving. You might not be getting a lot of revenue as you are expecting, but at least you are picking up. You are picking up gradually, you are doing something, and it helps. So the team that you work with must be a good team, must be a strong team that's going to support you whether there is money or not. It will get to a point sometimes there's no money to do something, but then your team is around you to support you and say, okay, yes, we know this is very difficult, this is very tiring. We are ready to support. So let's hope that we all try and get very good teams. So let's not rush. We are going to look for business partners. We are looking for people to join the team. Let's not rush. Let's try and look for people who are willing to sacrifice and who are willing to help us so that we can be able to improve upon our operations and efficiency. When these things improve, it helps us a lot. We are able to improve. All right, so that's with today's class. We looked at how we can be able to um, address these challenges. We saw about 7 challenges. Some of them were not directly related to accounting, but then we said that because accounting and finance is the backbone of every business, even if they're not related to accounting, it has a long term effect on our business. So it's important that if they're looking at these challenges, we should try to address them. And I know that out of these 7 challenges, at least we might be going through either 2 or 4 or 5, or even all of them. But the issue is not with the challenge. The issue is how we are able to fix the challenge or how we're able to address the challenge. All right. So I believe at this point in time, we've all learned a lot of things, and gradually we've come to the end of accounting for startups, the lockdown online training. Please, I'm really interested in your feedbacks because we need your feedbacks to improve upon whatever we are doing. All right. So kindly feel free to use the modes I asked you to use in order to give your feedbacks. You can use the social media handles. You can even send messages on the page to let us know, oh, okay, I've either enjoyed the class or, oh, maybe I came in late, I didn't understand this. Maybe next time, let's do this. I mean, let's know your feedback, okay? It's really important for us so that we can serve you better. Because as I always say, I'm here to assist every single person. You can reach out to me anytime for support and assistance. So it's important that you also let us know your feedbacks so that we know that we are on the right track. Just as you want feedback from your customers, it's important to grateful if you could all give me your feedbacks on the page, or you can go to your social media handles and then at least try and then do something, post your assignments, post your work, say something about how this class has really impacted into your business, okay, so that we can all learn from it. So that our colleagues who are not able to join us on the class, when given the opportunity next time, they can be able to join the class, okay. So let's try as much as possible to give our feedbacks. They are really important. If we receive your feedbacks, we'll be able to know how to go about this program the next time we are trying it again. So thank you very much for your consistency. Most of you have to this thing, whether internet challenges or not. You have really been consistent, and I really want to extend or show my appreciation to you. Because without you, how can we have the class? We can't have the class if you all don't come on board. So thank you very much for making it a point to join the class, whether you have internet challenges or not. Some of you have been very consistent. Okay, so as I always say, I'm always ready to help you. You can reach out to me anytime you need something, and I'll be, if it's within my means, I mean, I can support you with it. So thank you so much for making this program a successful one. Okay, we've already come to the end. We started and then we've come to an end. And I believe that with all the summary notes and with all the things I've taught, at least there are certain things that you are going to keep in mind. And please, when we send the evaluation sheet, kindly do well to fill the evaluation sheet. All right, do well to at least just let us know your feedbacks, okay? And then we'll be happy to serve you better the next time. So thank you all. Is there something anyone wants to say before we officially come to an end to this class? Is there something anyone wants to say? Let me know so that you can say it and then we'll know what to do. Is there something anyone wants to say? Maybe 2 minutes. Is there something someone has to say, or a question or a suggestion or an idea? It's not yet 11. We can look at these things before we officially bring the class to an end. So and also you should be expecting a certificate. They are ready. That's how come I took your email addresses and I asked you to correct the name. So we'll be giving out your certificates to you. That's those who are really consistent with the class. Okay. So hopefully tomorrow is Saturday. By Saturday, or let's say latest by Monday, you should all receive your certificates. If I get to know they've been sent, I'll come and ask each of you if you've received it, so that if you've not received it, I can follow up for you. Yes, so okay, someone has reminded me that I forgot to send the template for the policies. All right, so in bringing today's lecture, I'll try to send the policies. She's talking about the internal control policies that we can adopt for our business. I promised to send it, so I'll do my best to add it to today's summary notes and then send it. So please, is there anything someone wants to say or someone wants to draw my attention to before we officially close the class? So I think I've said everything with regards to certificates, in regards to the feedbacks and all. Okay, so if there's not much to say, I'd like to officially bring the class to an end. And if there's anything, I'll reach out to you. Thankfully, we are all on the same group page. If there's anything else I need to let you know, I'll reach out to you on the page and then we can look at them. All right, so thank you very much, and then do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. I'm ending the meeting. All right, bye.